Mr. Reeves, you and the defendant were roommates.
Correct.
You signed the lease on an apartment. And when did you sign the lease?
I signed the lease December 1st of 2018.
So it's over now.
Yes.
Are you still there?
Yes.
Did you sign a new lease?
Yes.
In what month did the defendant move out?
April.
And you moved out to move in with your girlfriend?
Yes.
But he continued to pay rent.
Correct.
At some point, you asked him if a friend could temporarily come into the apartment.
Yes.
Who was that person?
My cousin.
And what reason did he give you to ask if his cousin could come and stay in your room?
He told me it was because of a better environment. She just wanted to get her things together and, get a job and a better place for her kids. So I agreed.
So you knew she was moving in with her children?
The agreement was that she came by herself first and the kids will come later.
And in what month did she come?
I believe she came right when I actually left out in April. He told me that it would just be her, but instead her baby father.
I'm building up to that. So he paid rent when he wasn't there. You had your cousin living there who wasn't paying rent.
At first.
Well, when did she start to pay rent?
She started to pay rent 2 months after she had been there because she had just obtained a job.
She moved in April when he left. That means that she was there in May and June, paid
Correct.
no rent, but then she started to pay rent.
In July, correct.
Well, what are you suing him for?
Because the agreement was that our lease was until August, and Prezant actually moved out under no knowing of my own. Like, I didn't know he was getting
You
rent.
have no case. If you moved your cousin in and he paid his half of the rent when she was there, what he's going to tell me is, because I read it here, not only was she there, but she was there, her children were there, the father of her child was there in August.
Yes.
So she didn't pay rent, but according to what you just told me, she got a job in June. So she started paying you rent in July. So why are you going after him for any rent?
Our agreement was to...
I don't care what the agreement was. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Yeah. I mean, you have no cause of action. You're not going to collect rent from two people.
No, I was not collecting rent from two people, Your Honor. What had happened was I had no knowing that he was getting ready to move out. The only reason I moved my cousin there...
Don't go into a whole long story with me. I'm telling you what the law is.
Okay.
What the law is, if he moved out and he was paying rent, because he said, listen, I'll pay the rent and I'll be a nice guy. Your cousin wants to get her life together. She can come. She can sleep in my bedroom and I'm paying the rent. But then when your cousin starts to pay the rent in June, the month that you're suing him for is August.
Okay.
And I don't want to hear the whole story that goes back to when you first signed the lease. That's ridiculous.
I only agreed to move my cousin there because he stated that he was getting ready to leave.
I don't care. It doesn't make any difference.
I had to make up for the other part of the rent that I was owed until August, ma'am. I didn't have the other half of the rent that we agreed in December
I'm
to
dismissing
pay.
your case. You understand exactly what I'm saying to you. He was a very good guy, and you took advantage of him. You were collecting rent from two different people.
No, ma'am,
the month of
that's not
July and
true.
August. That's what you just told me.
That's
you
not
said your
true.
cousin moved in, and she didn't pay rent at first.
Correct.
It took her 2 months to get a job.
Correct.
She got a job, and she started to pay you rent in either June or July. You're suing him for August.
She started to pay rent in July, and she was not obligated to pay the full rent because she had just begun working, and she didn't have the funds to pay the full
I'm
rent.
finished with your case. Counterclaim is for damages and unreturned property. You say that his cousin damaged your bed.
Yes.
Then sue the cousin.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And slander.
Yes, ma'am.
How did he slander you?
Well, during the time that everything was going on, because he was texting my phone in a very crazy manner with threats and, things like that, I wasn't answering. So I guess he decided to go on Facebook Live and announce to everybody about, because at the time I didn't have a job.
Just a second, would you just tell me what it was that you say he said that slandered you?
Nothing.
At the time I was running a business, so he decided to get on there and say,
Just show me.
I have a video right here of him, Your Honor.
Yeah.
That up here contributed to your. A lot of your reviews that came back with your food said your nasty. I helped you with that. Most of his income came from me when he first moved down here because of my word of mouth, because of the work that I was putting in. You want to be careful doing business with a person like this who will sit here in your face and tell you one thing but do another. I don't do that to people. I don't. And I don't expect people to do that.
It's nonsense. It's not actionable. You counterclaims this.
Bye.